Hello, this is Reclaimed Lumber Products. We're a manufacturer of custom millwork, wood millwork, and we have an exclusive line of barn door hardware that we manufacture ourselves. We feel that our barn door hardware is very unique and it has some special features, so we thought we'd compare it to a couple sets that we purchased off the internet. There's a lot of difference out there, and I'll tell you right up front that this review is probably going to be biased because we're reviewing our set against the others. We'll tell you the good and bad of the both and compare them. We purchased sets blind off the internet. These two right here came from a supplier that you'd probably recognize. And then this is our set right here. These come in a cardboard box. Ours comes in a stiff walled cardboard tube like this. And we ordered 6-foot sets. I'll tell you, we make a couple different kinds of hardware tracks. We make low profile sets that come in a V-shaped channel. We're not going to be reviewing those today because we wanted to have as similar a comparison as possible. The sets that we ordered were flat track hardware that comes with a flat bar with a grooved roller wheel. And so we're going to be reviewing our flat track hardware also. We've taken our tracks out of the packaging. This first one that we're looking at is Reclaimed Lumber Products Flat Track. We happen to have two tracks here to show you the difference between them. We'll take them out of the packaging, but one is with the mounting holes pre-drilled and one is undrilled. You would use the pre-drilled option if you had a solid continuous header and you weren't trying to catch studs. If you need to hit specific points in your wall, you need to order your track undrilled. The first thing that I'm going to point out and notice is how much stronger our packaging is. It's a much stiffer tube than the cardboard boxes on the others. And then if you also notice, we're made in the USA. We make it ourselves, we're made right here. We're real people making real products in Idaho, United States of America, which makes a difference, and we cost more. We're not going to apologize for that, but we make a better product, and you're keeping your dollars here in America, supporting jobs in America, made with American products. And the quality that we're going to show you later is going to justify that. Now I'll tell you up front, our cost is significantly more. A typical 6-foot track kit from us is going to cost somewhere in the neighborhood of $250 to $300. What we spent on, and that's delivered with free shipping. We keep them in stock. We ship them out the same day you order. We're very fast. Yes, we may not guarantee 2-day shipment because it does come by UPS ground, but considering everything, oftentimes you'll receive it just as fast as ordering from somebody who does guarantee 2-day shipping, because we actually ship it right away and it still might get to you within 2 days. And then the other prices of these other kits that we paid was in the $40 to $60 range, also including free shipping. But the most obvious thing right off the bat is when you look at the packaging, it says made in China. And you can tell somewhat of the quality. We'll point out some of the different components. This track here, when we pulled it out of the box right off the bat, it's warped and it's a significantly smaller size, which we'll show you. Unpackaged our components here a little bit more, taking them out of the plastic. What we're going to do now is just kind of go through one of them one at a time and compare the 3 different kits. First of all, when you order from us, you can download the installation instructions right in the product listing, or it's also emailed to you once you place the order. So our kit does not come with a complete set of instructions because our instructions are very detailed, they're very long, and we would like you to watch the videos on our website and have the instructions electronically to save having to print them out. This other kit came with a decent set of instructions right here, the top mount kit. It was written in English and had standard measurements. It was 2 pages. Our instructions are about 8 or 9 pages. Our instructions are probably overly informative. It might even actually confuse some people because we give so much information out and so many options. We want our kits to be flexible. We want to anticipate any problems. We give you extra information. If you'll take the time to read it, you'll have a lot of information. The last kit did not have any written information. It was a few pictures and it was all in metric. If I was the average consumer, I would be very confused by it. As we compare the tracks, I have 2 of our tracks. We have one on my left and then without the holes pre-drilled. It only has the stop bolt holes in it. The one on our right here has the mounting holes pre-drilled in it. What we do with it is, depending on the length of the track, is the spacing, but we evenly space them. We start 2 inches in from the end and then evenly space it. On a 6-foot kit, you get 5 holes. On an 8-foot, you get 7 holes. And we offer track lengths in one-piece tracks up to 20 feet long. So that's a very important fact to remember, is that you are getting a one-piece track, heavy duty, in up to a 20-foot length. The hole spacing will vary depending on the track length. For example, on our 6-foot kit, they're 17 inches apart. They're not meant to catch studs. It's meant for continuous backing in the wall. If you have a different length track, it might be as close as 14 inches on center to the tracks. Our flat bar here is 1/4 inch thick by 2 inches wide, which is very important to remember as we compare it to these other tracks. So here they have their holes evenly spaced, but they're 16 inches on center. Their track length is approximately 6.5 feet long. Their holes do not come out to the end, which means that if you're trying to be supported out here on the end, this actually can get rather floppy. And their track height is only 1.5 inches to about 1.9 inches, and their track thickness is 3/16. So our track roughly has twice as much mass and twice as much steel as these other tracks. This is a one-piece track kit here in this top mount kit, which is an advantage. This was the $60-some kit. This $40 kit here came as 2 pieces of track, and they add up to about 6.5 feet long. Their hole spacing is very similar, and their track height is about 1.5 inches and 3/16 thick. So same thing again, our track is going to be a lot stronger because it has twice as much steel in it. And these tracks here with this 2-piece, I think, are intended to mount together something like this, where you have to have a splice and then you put a hole in the middle. I can tell you right now, this splice joint doesn't match up, and so what's going to happen is, as your wheel rolls over this joint, there will be a click, and it'll go, and it'll be a little bit of a bump. It will probably function fine, but it's just going to be an aesthetic and a little bit of a noise issue, that sort of thing, as you're going along. With us, you can buy, like if you're mounting 2 doors, you can buy 2 different track kits, or you can mount an extra pair of hangers on our single track kit. Anytime you try to put 2 tracks together, even if you do a good job in the field, there's likely to always be a little bit of a joint there where it will go bump as the wheel rolls over it. So let's compare wheels now. These are our hangers, and they come with a double ball bearing inside of a nylon wheel. It's adjustable within the hanger for the distance from the back of the hanger to the center line of the wheel. We have spacers in there and washers that you can move it in and out, so that you can mount anything from a very thin door up to like a 3-inch door and still keep that door hanging plumb underneath your track. This bolt can come out, you can move the washers around, gives you a lot of flexibility. It comes standard from us mounted to mount 1 3/4 to 1.5 inches thick door, where the center line of the wheel is about 7/8 of an inch from the back of the hanger. When these have no flex or give in them, they're very tight. It's going to roll very smoothly because the wheels are so precisely machined. We go to these next ones. This one appears to have a ball bearing. I didn't take it apart. It's sealed and it's a little bit hard to get into. It is a nylon wheel also, the same as ours. I can tell you right now, I don't like these top mount hangers because they are dependent on some screws going into the top of your door like that, and if you have a very heavy door or kid Tarzan that's hanging off the door, he's going to pull these out and it becomes a liability, in my opinion. So maybe these look interesting or novel to you, but I'm a little bit concerned about how they get mounted to the door, versus if you have one that mounts to the face of the door with heavy 3/8 bolts going through the center of the door like that, you're not going to be able to pull these bolts out or yank the door off the hanger. Also, with our kit, if you're mounting the hangers, they come up with these setup blocks that are disposable. They come with the door. You put one under the wheel that sets the height of the wheel off the top of the door, and then you put one on the edge, and that sets the edge of the door to the edge of the hanger, and you have to do no measurements. It's dummy proof. You bolt the hanger to the door slab as you're putting those blocks on there, drill through these holes, and you already automatically got your hole spacing. Versus these other kits don't really give you the proper measurements, and you kind of have to assume where you're going to put the hanger on the door and hope you get it right. These will automatically set the distance of your hanger from the edge of the door so that the edge of the door will stop at the end of the track just right. We'll come back to that a little bit more later on. So this third kit has the same kind of wheel design as that one. I can see a ball bearing down in there. It is not adjustable though. This candy cane, as it comes around, is tight to both sides of it. You're stuck with the way it is. This center line is always going to be this same distance from the back of the hanger, which is about 11/16. So if you try to mount a bigger, heavier door on this, it's not going to be centered or plumb underneath the hanger. It is a front mount where you do put bolts very similar to ours through the middle of the door, so that will be a strong mounting attachment. Another thing on these is these are 1.5" flat bar, and ours are 2.5 inches wide, so you have substantially more steel here on our hangers. So let's take a little bit of a look at our stops. That keeps the hangers and the wheels from rolling off the end of the door. Ours are a rubber bumper. They have a steel insert on the inside. They go on the end of the track just like this in the stop bolt hole, and their net goes on the back side. As the wheel rolls down the track, the hanger hits the stop. It's a nice cushion. There is the rubber bumper. We have some options if you're doing super heavy duty doors to even reinforce that further if you want to ask for it. And then on these other two kits, they both have the same kind of stop. It's kind of an L bracket with some little rubber inserts right here that go on the end of the track with some Allen set screws. It's very adjustable. That is one advantage, I would say, as it gives you more flexibility. If you don't want to cut your track to a different length, you can move your stop in and out here and just let the track hang wild over the end of your stop. It gives you a lot of flexibility as to where you want to put your stop. Versus with our kit, the stop's predetermined in the end of the track. You can leave it there and buy an extra floor guide, extend the door out further if you have too narrow of a door for the length of the track. Or you can cut the track, re-drill a new 1/4 inch hole in the end of it, and put the stop somewhere closer in. If you're going to do that, I would recommend that you buy our undrilled track, and it will give you more options to cut to different lengths. We only stock track in 1 foot increments. We don't custom cut to any length unless you're doing a very large order. So now we're going to compare the mounting lags that mount the track to the wall and the standoff spacers. First of all, our lags are a timber lag, which are significantly stronger than a normal lag screw. They're the 3/8 size here, and which is equivalent to a 1/2 inch lag. The advantage of it is you get the strength of the bigger lag, but you don't have to go with the diameter, which doesn't split out your stud as bad. You should still pre-drill your hole to easily mount the lag into the wall, and it should always go into wood vacuum. Our lag overall is 5 inches long with 3/8 diameter threads. If you want to compare that to the other ones here, these in both kit have the same lag. They're 3.5 inches to 4 inches range and a 1/4 inch diameter, and they're not as high a quality as steel for the lag screw. Their standoff spacers here are about 1 3/8 inches, and they're a fixed height, whereas our standoff spacers are a stack where you can adjust the height. It's a stack of washers with a 3/8 hole and a longer fender washer on the back. And the advantage of doing this is you can infinitely adjust the distance from the back of your track to the wall, so that if your wall is not flat, or you want to suck the door up to the wall and have less of a gap behind the door, you can take spacers out. And if you have a really thick door, you can add spacers. So you take this stack right here add and subtract it and your height changes. Whereas with this one, your height is staying the same. So the other thing that the other kits have that I might point out for attaching to the wall is this one has, it looks like a drywall anchor. I would never trust this. Don't ever mount your door just into drywall. I don't care if it's even just a paper door. That's asking for the track to get floppy and fall off the wall and hurt somebody. This kit came with some masonry anchors that you drill a hole, drive it into the wall, and then use this fully threaded bolt to mount it into the wall like that. I would be a little nervous about that actually working unless you just had the perfect hole in masonry and everything worked just right, but that's an easy way for it to fail also, especially if you're not epoxying those anchors into the wall. My preference is for you to have 3 inches or so of thickness of solid wood backing in the wall, and it be continuous underneath the track. You get a lag screw at each end of the track and then spread a total of 5 at a minimum over the full length of the track. Let's see what we can do if we can just bang on these lags and see if they bend or do anything. So this is our lag screw. It's 5 inches long and it has a lot of shear strength. Bang on it. Let's bang on this one here. This one here broke off right there if you have some pot metal like that. See how they don't have as strong steel? I can continue to bang on this one and it doesn't break. You get the point now. Now let's compare the floor guides. These are what keep the door stable and from flopping around front to back as it's sliding on the track. First of all, ours is made by us here in America. It says made in the USA. It's a 3-inch long, 1-inch tall. These are the other two that come with the other two kits. They're very similar. They probably will function about equally as well. This one here has nice rounded corners though, and I guarantee you when it slides into that door that it's going to be less likely to hang up. Also, these are a little bit smaller, so they're not going to be quite as durable. Both are made to mount in a kerf in the bottom of the door. You cut a slot in the door about 1/4 inch wide and the door slides over the top of them. With ours, we sell an option to where you can buy an extra floor guide right along with the kit if you want to mount one in front of the door and one behind the door. And then that way you don't have to cut the slot. But the slot, the kerf in the bottom of the door is the best way to mount it, and it saves you some cost. So now we've gone and we've screwed our floor guides to this block of wood and we're going to try pounding on them. We didn't have the camera on when we were screwing them down, but the first thing I did is on this third kit is I broke off their screws accidentally. They sheared off instantly the minute they were tightened down. So I'd say that was a complete failure. They don't send good enough screws to even tighten your floor guide down to the floor. This is our floor guide right here. This is the second kit. The second kit comes with a nylon plastic guide of some sort. This is kind of a cast steel one. Ours is fully nylon, which is going to be stronger. It won't bend like the steel will. It won't break or like a cast steel will. And it's also going to be self-lubricating, so it slides in the door very easily. Let's try breaking it. You can see what's going on there. Now we'll try the second one. Oops. First thing I did was break that one. That one broke a lot easier. You can also see it cracked here around the screw hole, and these ones here you can pound all around the screw hole. It doesn't crack out. It's made of a lot better grade of plastic. It's a glass-filled nylon. It's a lot more durable. It's going to hold up well for you. This one here, I broke the screws trying to put it in, so I'm not going to be able to pound on it as well. But we'll try. So I guess that's the fun of the torture test. We're pretty much done with that. Now that we're done with that torture test, which was kind of fun, we'll show you a few of the other components. The takeaway, I guess, from the torture test is that our components are a lot stronger. Both the other ones broke when we tried to do it. We couldn't get ours to break. The last component that I want to compare is one that's actually not in our kit. It's these anti-jump blocks. And what happens is the way that these other two kits are intended to be mounted is you have the door considerable distance below the bottom of the track so that you can go and set the track with the rollers already on it up on the track. And then in order to keep it from coming off the track and falling down and hurting somebody, they have you screw these to the top of the door, and then that keeps it from lifting up off of the track. So both these other two kits come with that. But with all of our kits, we send these setup blocks that set the right distance so that the bottom of the track is right over the top of the door. So that if you properly mount the hanger to the door will hit the bottom of the track before the hanger can come off of the track. So we don't even need those anti-jump blocks, and it's a lot safer installation, and it will work a lot better. The other thing that was with this kit that I'm not exactly sure what I would use it for is a little level. I imagine that could help a little bit with the install, but frankly I would rather have a better level than this little short one. And if I was to install this whole track, I'd want a good 4-foot, 6-foot level to properly set all my heights over the floor and make sure the whole track was being installed correctly anyway. The other thing that I would mention is our track comes in 4 different colors. You can order it. Those are all in stock in all the long lengths up to 20 feet if you want it. And feel free to check out for more information on our website at reclaimedlumberproducts.com under the hardware section. We sell 3 different kinds of track profiles. We sell a privacy lock, sliding door handle, and as a complement you can order it with a custom-made barn door. When you pair it up with the door, you save $85 on the track kit. If you order multiple doors, there's further discounts that are automatically calculated in the online store checkout process. And all the products are listed with free shipping. We ship anywhere in the United States with free shipping. So once again, check us out at reclaimedlumberproducts.com. Thanks for watching.